what's happening. So we are live right now. This is breaking news. I've got somebody from the Kabul Small Animal Rescue on the phone. Sir, tell us what you just heard, what you know about your efforts to get out of Afghanistan and to get to the airport. There's 200 approximately dogs. There's Charlotte Jones, who is the Tennessee born founder of the Kabul Small Animal Rescue. She's at the airport. Is that your understanding? But you're trying to get in?
Yeah, we try to get in, but the Taliban doesn't allow us to get in. We are still in the outside about the 1.5 days because the situation is not good. There's too much people run away from Afghanistan, from Kabul. Everything is fucked up.
That's okay. Your life is literally in the balance right now. You're seeing the Facebook page of the Kabul Small Animal Rescue. There are heroic people who have been rescuing these animals. A lot of animals were dumped by fleeing Americans who are contractors who had to get out. They couldn't take their animals. They left them with the Kabul Small Animal Rescue. There you see just some of the animals. And Charlotte, whose picture you see here, issued a plea. She was on NBC News, and she issued a plea saying, I'm not going to leave. I don't want to leave without the animals. I don't want to leave without these incredible staffers and their families. You are one of those staffers, but are you near the Kabul airport trying to get out?
Yeah. We are almost the main gate of airport right now.
And so
all our families, like 5 vans full of families in here, but Charlotte is trying to work on it
from the inside. From the inside. This is
from the inside. Yeah,
from the inside. And how many staffers and their families? I understand it's approximately like 150 staffers and their families.
Yeah.
And you're all associated with the Kabul Small Animal Rescue. So she's in there in the Kabul airport with something like 200 dogs and cats and other animals, many of whom were left by American contractors who had to flee and who left their dogs with the Kabul Small Animal Rescue in the hopes that you would take care of them. Yes? All right. Well, I understand that you're trying your best. I wish you the best, sir.
Come on, ma'am.
Okay, I'll let you go. Godspeed. I wish you the best.
Yeah,
I wish you the best.
Yeah, all right,
thank you.
We are in trouble right now. We are in trouble right now, but no one is here to take care of us. But you're making a news for your media, something like that.
I'm trying to get the word out. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Good luck. This is just breaking news. I got a call from a Tamar Bedek, who I will call right now, and she called me frantically and said, we have to help these people. I actually recently met a congressman who is vegan, and I sent him an email saying, help these people. Let me show you what the video is that she sent me.
5 minutes ago, a fairly large group of Taliban left my lawn. As far as I know, it was led by Mullah Bashir Ahmadi, who is apparently the Taliban chief of foreign embassies and foreign organizations. He brought 12 armed men into my lawn. One of them had a grenade launcher, which seems a bit over the top. They told me that I should leave immediately. Then they tried to put guards inside my house, which is a very small house. We have settled on guards outside the house. They have said that they will give us safe passage to the airport for as large a group as we have. They have told me to leave first. It's very obvious what will happen if I leave first. We can get our people out within a few days. We have permits to do that now. We need a landing permit for our animals. We have stuck it out this far. We are not going to leave them. We need a landing permit. Because I think it's going to continue to get more difficult.
So very, very upsetting. When I saw that, and that was sent to me literally, it's almost 1 a.m. here in Los Angeles. It was sent to me about 45 minutes ago. And I said, oh my gosh, we've got to do something to help. I tweeted, and then I continued reading the email, and I spoke with the woman who I'm trying to get her to come on. She's an attorney in Manhattan. And she called me and she was like, we've got to help them. I'm like, absolutely. So I just apparently right on the Facebook page for the Kabul Small Animal Shelter, there's a number. I called it. And at first they said, Charlotte is not available. So then I called Tamar Bedek, who is the woman who sent me all this information literally 45 minutes ago. And I had a conversation with her and she was explaining to me that it was her understanding that a lot of American contractors who had adopted dogs while they were living there had to flee, obviously. And they left some of their dogs with the Kabul Small Animal Shelter saying, basically, here, we can't take them, take care of them. And this woman, Charlotte, you just saw her video, felt like she couldn't leave without living up to that commitment. And also she has approximately, according to the people I talked to, now this is just information coming in, but approximately 20 staffers or so, and they have family members. So the total number of people she said she had to get out were about 150 staffers and their families and about 200 animals, including dogs and cats that had been adopted by Americans living in and around Kabul, that area, but who had to flee. She has a GoFundMe page. And one of the things that I hope we can all do is, and I will certainly do it, donate to the GoFundMe page. And it's a shame that we can't get Tamar back because she was the one who told me all about this. And it just seems so heartbreaking that I said to myself, I don't want to wait till tomorrow because I said tomorrow might be too late. You saw the video. I'll play it for you one more time because to me, it sounded like a real emergency. But again, I called the number on their Facebook and I just got that gentleman who picked up the phone and I said, can I speak to Charlotte? And he said, Charlotte's at the airport. Now, this is his understanding. I don't have his name. Here's Tamara joining us. Thank you for joining us. Can you speak?
I think so. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes. Okay. So thank you, first of all, for alerting Jana and Shane News to this situation happening in Kabul, Afghanistan. Yeah. And you sent me an email and said, please tweet this. And then I read about it. And then you sent me that video, which I just played, of this woman begging an American from Tennessee who's started a small animal rescue in Kabul. And she said, I'm not going to leave without my staffers. I'm not going to leave without the dogs that have been handed to me by fleeing Americans saying, take these dogs, take care of them.
Right.
So while you were getting ready to come on, I called the number again to see maybe I'd get Charlotte this time. And a gentleman answered. He was very distraught. He said it was his understanding that Charlotte has made it to the airport and that the animals have made it to the airport, but the staffers, he was saying the staffers, the people, the native born people there who work at the shelter, at the rescue, and their families have, according to him, have not made it into the airport. They're trying to get in. Tell us what your understanding is. You explained a lot about this, that you were just, as an attorney who is in Manhattan, who is an animal activist, you were researching this, you found it. What's your understanding? And I understand this is from what you've culled from various sources.
Right. I think she's extremely I think she's an extremely responsible person who has taken on the animals of many rescues and many individuals who have since left Kabul. And I think that she feels, from the videos that I've seen, I think that she feels responsible for the safety of those very people because they are much more vulnerable than she is. The Taliban are much more likely to wreak vengeance on their own Afghani people, particularly if it's known that they supported and worked alongside Westerners and to some extent assimilated Western values. And her staff certainly has, both because they're educated women. They were educated and became, doctors of veterinary medicine. Kabul Small Animal Rescue is a woman-run rescue. Charlotte runs it in connection and cooperation with female Afghani veterinarians. Their lives are in danger. There are other people there who have clear ties now to the West, and I think that puts them all at risk. She's well aware of that, and this is why she does not want to be separated from her staff, because once they get separated, it's impossible for her to assure their safety.
And I'm going to play this video clip that you sent me that was why literally 45 minutes ago at midnight, I was getting ready to go to sleep. I had just walked my dogs and I was checking my emails and I saw this and I went, whoa, this can't wait till tomorrow. I better jump on this. And together with you, we ended up just talking live to one of the staffers or their family members, one of the people. He's literally like, I got to get off the phone, lady. I'm trying to get to the airport.
5 minutes ago, a fairly large group of Taliban left my lawn. As far as I know, it was led by Mullah Bashir Ahmadi, who is apparently the Taliban chief of foreign embassies and foreign organizations. He brought 12 armed men into my lawn. One of them had a grenade launcher, which seems a bit over the top. They told me that I should leave immediately. Then they tried to put guards inside my house, which is a very small house. We have settled on guards outside the house. They have said that they will give us safe passage to the airport for as large a group as we have. They have told me to leave first. It's very obvious what will happen if I leave first. We can get our people out within a few days. We have permits to do that now. We need a landing permit for our animals. We have stuck it out this far. We are not going to leave them. We need a landing permit. Because I think it's going to continue to get more difficult.
Wow. So now what we've learned from the gentleman who we called, basically there's a number on Facebook for the Kabul Small Animal Shelter. I called it while we were live. I talked to the gentleman. He said that she finally went to the airport to try to negotiate. She got the dogs there, according to him, or the animals. Who knows if it's all the animals? I don't know, but this is what he told me, and it was live, so everybody heard it who was watching, that she's there. They're trying to get there. She's decided it'd be the best way to get them there by getting there and then trying to get them in. And I can only say that I pray that they are allowed in. These are the most courageous. I always say the undercover investigators are the big heroes of our movement. I could never do what they do. These folks are also the heroes of our movement. She said that the lives of these animals are so important that she's not going to leave them behind. She also is a humanitarian and said, I'm not going to leave the people I work with behind. their family. Can you comment on that and tell us a little bit about what you know of her, her background? I understand she was in this region studying. Tell us about that.
For a couple of years, apparently she had come there to do her doctorate on pottery shards. I believe that she was studying archaeology initially, and I think that she was drawn to the street animals, of whom there are a great many, and often when they're injured, there's no one to care for them, and those injuries get worse over time and the animals languish. I believe that, she continued to see this, and she was very moved in a way that she had not necessarily been before. And then together with a woman who was already a trained veterinarian, an Afghani woman, they began the Kabul Small Animal Rescue. I don't think that they ever had the fame and the publicity that Nozad did. I think they were a much smaller operation, but equally fierce. And really, what integrity! What incredible integrity! And just compassion and courage wrapped up in this young woman. How brave!
How brave! How incredibly brave!
Yes.
Wow! And there is a GoFundMe page. I'll put up the link when we're done, but we raced on so we could go to GoFundMe, Supplies into Kabul, organized by Charlotte Maxwell-Jones. That is the woman at the heart of this. And I very much hope that that she and her team and the staffers and their families get out. I really do hope that happens. And I would like to select something that I saw here. Let's see if we can play it. And this is something that popped up on NBC News. This is one article. Let's see if it plays. I don't know if it will. This is a video that was just shot. It's dated today from NBC News. This may have helped her get out. Who knows? Can you hear it?
I cannot.
Okay. All right. But there she is. I can show you that she is. There we go.
Uniforms. We had people come into the clinic and they scared the staff. So I reached out to a Taliban elder whose number I was able to get and formally asked for protection and for permission to safely go around and continue operations, to continue evacuating the animals that needed to be evacuated prior to our own evacuation. And it's through those elements that I now have for Taliban guards in my lawn. It's very cordial for the most part. We had a bit of a problem yesterday afternoon. There were between 12 and 15 armed men, and they told me that I have to leave. Then they told me that my staff have to leave, that I have to leave right now. They said that they would put people in my house, and I think that actually goes against some of what the Taliban is trying to express right now. I mean, they have said that some foreign NGOs could stay if you register. They're trying to put up a very friendly veneer. They're polite, and I'm grateful for that right now because they don't have to be. It's very clear who's in power here. If there's enough staff to stay with me, then I will stay with the animals till they're on another flight. But there are no other rescues in town that could take the number that we have. I'm absolutely expecting that we will be able to get a flight and put all of our animals and people on it. I'm not looking at other possibilities right now. This is an organization full of animals and staff that I worked very hard to create, and I am responsible for what happens to them, and I take that responsibility very seriously. I love these animals. I love these people. I've known all of them for a very long time, So it would be like leaving my family, and I'm not prepared to do that.
Wow. So there you have it. I'm going to now get rid of that and come back to what we were talking
Stacey,
about.
we got Poop Digger.
Stop screen, and let's get rid of that sound. But wow, that was truly incredible. And literally, I first found out about this 45 minutes ago from you. And that is a story that just before I went on to do this live interview, I saw, and I just threw it up on my screen. So pardon my messy homepage. But what I get the sense that maybe there's hope. I really do. Even though the gentleman I spoke with seemed understandably, in a hurry and also distressed. Who wouldn't be? I do hope it could have maybe been that national news story that got the attention of, U.S. forces that said, wait, there's this situation here. We can't leave these folks behind.
It's possible. I mean, it's I know that, it's a very fluid situation there. That's one of the things that she repeatedly said on her tweets and her Facebook page. They were looking at multiple possibilities at all times. Clearly, she had, she was carrying a lot of people as well as animals that she was going to take with her. She was going to. This was,
and
everyone.
You brought up the point that these are some people left when they fled. They couldn't take their animals with them. They were American contractors. They said, "Here, take these animals, dogs, cats, and who knows? There may be other animals as well."
Well, there was that additional issue with the CDC, right? I mean, I think that in early or mid-August, the CDC decided that due to a rabies fear, and people will argue about whether that was justified or not, but that no additional animals would be coming into the U.S. So that happened well before Kabul fell, well before, that was sort of this underlying thing, that dogs were not allowed to come into the U.S. So there are multiple rescue groups that have historically brought animals to the U.S. from dangerous situations, and they can no longer do that now because of the CDC regulation. So I'm assuming that CDC regulation made it impossible for even the most, the best meaning of contractors to bring their dog or, dog home back to the U.S.
Where are they going? You had said something about Jordan. Now, I don't know. You don't know, but you're an attorney.
I think that certainly all of the visas of the Afghanistan, all of the Afghanis are not coming directly to the U.S. They will go to another place where they will be fully vetted, and so their flights are not going to be flights directly to the U.S. They're going to be vetted elsewhere, and probably that would take like a couple of days or perhaps as much as a week. The animals also, I think, are flying to Jordan, and I'm concerned that if they're flying as cargo, who will care for them? I mean, how long will they be at the airport? Is one person enough? I mean, is she going to have help? I don't know. I can just, hope for the best and hope that she's not the only compassionate person who cares about dogs. That dogs, according to some versions of interpretations of Sharia law, are dirty, haram, and so shouldn't be touched or handled. But hopefully she'll find people who will help her, because to have an animal in a crate for 10 hours, 12 hours, 30 hours, that's the length of time some of these people are waiting at the airport. That's not sustainable for an animal in a crate.
Absolutely not. With the heat, etc.
Right.
So yeah, they're not out of the woods yet. I mean, this is an unfolding, fluid, as you said, situation. And I always think it's good to let people know, because you and I could have sat there on the phone discussing this, but why not let people know? People might have resources. They may have contacts in the US government. I met a Congress member who called me out of the blue. Literally, I was napping, and he said, I'm a member of Congress and I'm vegan and I need your help. And I did give him a donation. Guess what? I just emailed him and I said, help this woman. And I sent him the video.
Great.
And I don't know if, I mean, I've been on live,
Yeah. Yeah.
but the point is, the reason I said, let's go live now is that the more people in the animal rights community and beyond know about this, the better. And so
Absolutely.
everybody here can go to this Facebook page, which is the Kabul Small Animal Rescue Facebook page. They can like it, as I did. And that's where you could see the GoFundMe page, correct? Isn't it linked there on the Facebook page?
Yes, the GoFundMe, as well as something called Razor. I think there are two different donation sites on the Facebook page, and she's also very active on Twitter for your viewers who are also active on Twitter. So either Twitter or the Facebook page, great ways to get updates.
And we've got a lot of comments here. So yes, everybody's saying praying for the animals. Here's somebody who donated. Cheryl Semser donated, praying for these animals and the people too. Thank you, Cheryl. Wow. Insane. Flee with animals and not kids. Well, she may not have kids there. She's fleeing with as many sentient beings as she can.
And you wouldn't put your kid in cargo, right?
Yeah,
and that's where these animals are going. So,
yes. But everybody's entitled to their opinion, and we are certainly all praying for everybody in that region,
right.
Every single person. Thank you for reporting and sharing on this. President shouldn't, I'm not getting into the politics of it. We're just here, all innocent, voiceless choice, less defensive animals matter. Yes, animals do matter. I mean, one of the reasons that we're in the predicaments we are in this world is that we've had disrespect for other beings.
Thank you.
And,
yes.
I think that this is, a very, very difficult situation. So many people simply saying, praying, okay? And, so somebody's asking, have you had a chance to touch base with how do you pronounce it?
Nozad.
Nozad. Now tell us about that, because you were saying that that's a much better known organization, and there's a leader, Royal Marine, I believe you said. Tell us about that.
Ex-Royal Marine. Yeah, his name is Penn Farthing, and he's quite a character, extremely, courageous. He did tours of duty in Afghanistan. He found his first dog and named the dog Nozad. He was actually doing a tour of duty in a city by the same name. Apparently, he broke up a dog fight. He was watching a dog fight that is very common on the streets of Kabul, and he broke it up, and he took one of the dogs and named that dog after the city where he found him. And then I believe that was how his story began. He has since written 3 different books. The first one, I believe, is One Dog at a Time. And, because of his colorful personality and his style and the 3 books that he wrote, his particular veterinary association, his rescue, became quite popular, quite famous. So the last I heard, he was still at the airport waiting for his plane with his animals and his staff. Yeah.
Jennifer Richardson says she donated through Razor and PayPal. So that's what it is. Razor. R-A-I-S-E-R. But again, anybody, here's what somebody says. Thank you to the brave women rescuing innocent animals. Prayers from animal friendly Israel. Go ethical vegan. Humankind need to evolve into humankind, or there shall be no kind of human left. Well said. All life is connected. Yes. I think it's often a false choice where it's either or. And as you mentioned, these animals are in cargo. And there is a danger there. Even in the best circumstances, we hear horror stories about animals dying in cargo in domestic flights. So just imagine all of this happening. And we're in the midst of a global pandemic as well. The stress, the pressure. Wow.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. It's absolutely a really, really terrifying situation. And I just want to thank you, Tamara, for alerting us. That's how we work here at Jane Unchained. People call us almost, well, I would say a dozen times a day, call, email, text, and say, there's something going on, jump on it. And often these are stories that are completely ignored by mainstream media. Let's give a shout out to NBC for doing that report.
Absolutely.
That report just
That
aired.
may have gotten her over the hump, right? I mean, that might have been the last push.
That might have been the last push that got them the attention they need, because let's face it, publicity, like you said, the other group from Britain got out because the guy's very well known.
Right.
I mean, it could have had an impact. So here's how to donate, she says. Okay, we'd like to know. And there she is. She's saying, go fund me. And that link, I believe, is available on the Facebook page. So this is super important. I'm certainly going to donate. I'm just so happy that it's, who knows what could have happened. And they're not out of the woods yet. But at least it appears that they're going in the direction, from what we heard on the phone call that we played live. I literally called Afghanistan, and I was talking to somebody from this small shelter, and he said Charlotte got to the airport, the Kabul airport. The animals are there, and then all the other staffers and their families are trying to get there. And we've all seen in the last few days, there's a chaotic situation outside the airport. So there's no guarantees at this point. I literally will pray for these folks, pray for everybody. Oh my gosh. What a tough situation. And so we're going to wrap it up. I think, give us your final thoughts on this, because I appreciate the fact that, you didn't just send me an email. You followed up with some video. You have researched the situation.
Thank you so much for being interested. I had created a tweet, and I was asking people to just retweet it, because I'm new to Twitter. I didn't have a Twitter account for until recently, and created one in response to this crisis.
Now, Carol's asking, are all the animals at the airport? I don't know. I literally only know what the gentleman who answered the phone, which is the phone number on the Facebook page for this Kabul Small Animal Shelter, and he seemed to tell me in the excitement that Charlotte and the animals have gotten to the airport, but I can't confirm that. That's one person, and so much chaos is going on. You could see cars leave for the airport, and who knows where they end up.
And who knows where, because if they're 5 miles away from the airport, how many checkpoints are between their rescue and the airport, and who's yeah.
But I think that everybody should please share this out. Please donate if you can. And also, let's stay on top of it, everybody. We now know the story. We can reach out to people we know, perhaps in government. There's plenty of animal activists who know people who have made connections with their members of Congress, who've made connections with other folks who might have influence over this situation. And donating is important, and tweeting. So you could go to Jane Unchained Twitter, and it's at JVM, and at JVM, and you could retweet what I tweeted about this situation. and you could share this video out. And again, we don't have any confirmation of anything. All we know is that we talked to somebody who said he couldn't talk because he's trying to get to the airport, and that he was under the impression that Charlotte, who is the founder of the Kabul Small Animal Rescue, had made it, but we can't confirm that. We hope that she did, but we can't.
She did.
And he said that the animals, it was his impression that the animals have made it as well. So is it possible the Taliban answered the phone? That's a good question.
Entirely possible.
I called twice. The first time I was told by somebody who spoke English, but who had an accent that seemed that he was maybe somebody from that region and spoke perfect English. He said, Charlotte can't talk to you right now. Click. So then I decided to call again after we decided to go live and discuss the situation just to let people know. And actually, because I couldn't get you, because you were trying to access this, I said, well, let me just try the number again. And then a man answered, and he said, I can't talk to you. But I said, well, I just want to talk to Charlotte. He said, she's at the airport. Now, I don't know if she's at the airport. You know, this is a situation where somebody could get in a car headed to the airport, and I don't know. So all we can tell you is that the gentleman who answered the phone that is connected to the Kabul Small Animal Rescue said that she was there and that the dogs were as well, or the animals
were with her.
We don't know if it's all the animals, a handful of animals. We can't confirm anything. The only thing we could say is that it's obviously a very fluid situation. So maybe we'll update. Maybe we'll be able to update this. Tamara, I understand you're going to be staying on top of this, right? And trying
to. I absolutely will, because I she represents to me what is the best of humanity, and you just don't leave that in a war zone. You just do not leave that in a war zone, because I mean, she's the beacon of compassion and courage, and integrity. How could you allow that to, be injured or God forbid, massacred? I mean, no. You got to get those people out. Those people really deserve, to live and to prosper, because they are the best of humanity.
Well, I think that everybody is safe, and I will say that again, we don't have any confirmation on anything. We are just trying to shine a light on this situation, because the more people know about it. Look, you're somebody who came up with solutions, and you told me. I told the member.
I'm so happy that you did this, Jane.
Somebody else hearing it, people are donating as a result of this. Somebody else might say, oh, I know somebody who knows somebody. You never know. It's so important to not, oh, look who we have here. It's so important to get the word out. It's the law of unintended consequences. So now that, we've put the story out there in the animal community, hopefully she'll get the support, and thank you for everyone who donated, and thank you for sharing this out. And Tamara, it's a pleasure to meet you. I know
the pleasure's mine, Jane. We crossed paths a couple of times, but this is the first that I got a chance to work with you and see you, and I can't tell you how happy I am. I'm very, very pleased that you picked up on this and just ran with it, because it made all the difference, really. I'm just like one, person typing away, but look at you. I mean, you've got such a following, such a presence. You're so expressive, and thank you. God bless you.
It's an effort, and I just want to thank you, because you're the one doing the hard work and coming up with all the information. So I appreciate your dedication. We're going to sign off for now. If we hear anything, we will definitely update this video. Thank you so much for watching.
Thanks.